Hi ladies and gentlemen, back once again with another video, daily motivational video. And yeah, I'm just taking it easy. So we're talking about employee, the E quadrant on the cash flow quadrant. In case you didn't watch my previous video, I'm busy dissecting the Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, which is a book that completely changed my life, amongst other books. And there are 4 sections in this quadrant. There are 4, or this diagram, if I can put it like that, where each section, each quadrant, each portion represents a different method of earning revenue, or earning income, or making money. And the E quadrant stands for employee, and the S quadrant stands for self-employed. So that's somebody who's doing their own thing, and that is on the left side of the quadrant. And then on the right side of the quadrant is a business owner. Somebody owns a business, and there is an investor as well. Now, the left side of the quadrant, if you look at it, if you closely look at it, it represents security. If you're talking about a job, if you're talking about somebody self-employed, you're talking about something or someone who's going to be leaning more into security. And I'll break that down. But on the right side of the quadrant, you find the right side of this diagram, you find investor. You can be an investor, and you can be a business owner, and this is where freedom lies. Now, contrary to popular belief, a job is the method or the route that we have all been taught to be the way that you can stick to the script. And when you think about a job, you're thinking about security, you're thinking about benefits, you're thinking about all these words that are given or are put into your contract, these words that are gonna say, okay, this is where I want to be. If I can retire 20-30 years later from this job, then I will receive certain benefits. And I just want to say this: there's no wrong quadrant, or there's no portion that is wrong in the quadrant. You can't say that a job is bad. You can't say that being self-employed is bad. You can't say that being an investor or a business owner is bad. I believe that it's necessary to go through all 4. You can become wealthy in all 4. Yet you can also become bankrupt in all 4. So it all boils down to the different personalities, the different interests, the different beliefs, the different belief systems, the different strengths and weaknesses that a person has, that determine which quadrant you can fall into. There are people who, sad to say, there are people who will always be in a job, and they will always work for somebody, as sad as that is to say. And there are people who were meant to do for themselves and be in the business world and be investors. And it all depends on the person themselves. Now, that's where you need to find yourself. Where do you find yourself? Which quadrant do you find yourself? Now, if we're talking about the employee quadrant, which is the main focus for this video in particular, I was an employee for a company. Don't know if I should mention it. I don't know. I knew there was, see what I mean? There were so many policies. There were so many rules and regulations and legislation and all those things that I got to learn when I was part of this company. And I know that there was a policy called the social media policy, which actually states that you cannot mention the company in disrepute, you cannot put the company into disrepute, you cannot use the company for your own uses or the company name and mention it in things that are not in line with the values that the company stands for. And I can remember, I mean, I've since left the company, but I can tell you what are the values of that company, which is professionalism, which is resilience, which is geez, I've just put myself on the spot right now, which is believe integrity, diligence, excellent service, and all those things. I believe that's, but I still have an idea of what the company stands for, right? So for me, the company taught me a lot. It taught me about Abo CPA, taught me about Abo Fika, and all these things that have to do with running your own business. It taught me how to adapt. I mean, we went through COVID, and it was so amazing how the company was able to bounce back and how the company was able to make money in that time. And I mean, my story personally, I started with this company almost 10 years ago, and it didn't take me much time to actually work my way up, because I became a manager. So I used to work in retail, and I became a manager in 3 years. Yeah, I became a manager in 3 years in one of the fastest, highest, most productive, the biggest retail company in Africa. And I was working, or I was part of the department, or the ndiyibeka kanjani, because this company has different yeah, ndiyibeke kanjani kanene, guys, but I was part of the busiest part of this company. And you can imagine, so I can say for me, that was a very fruitful experience. Working in a job was a fruitful experience. It depends how you will go into the job. It depends what the mindset is as an employee. Are you there to gain experience? Are you there just to pass time? Are you there just because you needed the job? Now you're in this job. Now you're figuring now you can see that Ziabuya, and you literally can't keep up because of the person that you are. Because you're lazy, you're just lazy. I say, especially in the environment that I was in, that is the best environment for a person to develop themselves. The best place that you can actually hone and nurture this beast within you. And not everybody's a beast, but to unravel this inner core, this beautiful part of you, that is the best environment. Whether you're somebody that is outgoing, whether you're somebody that is quiet, that environment is the best environment that you can ever wish for. And that's why I'm grateful for that environment, because it grew me, it helped me. And the mindset that I had was, I'm gonna do my best every day, whether people see me or not. And I can go on and on, guys, about my story per se, but I just wanted to make the point that time was very fruitful in my life. That time was one of the best times of my life. I mean, I was in this company for almost 10 years, and it changed my life. It made me realize that, whoa, you can really do big things, because this company did big things, and I was part of those big things for almost 10 years. And I realized, and I saw, and I studied, and I did everything as if I was doing it for my company. I did everything as if I was given a task, I would say, okay, let me practice this thing, let me do this thing, because one day I might need this skill for my shit. And I went into everything with that mindset. And a lot of people, when they would be faced with these tasks or these courses, whatever they had to do, they were not thinking like they were thinking, yet another task, yet another course, yet another thing to do. Not thinking that will stretch them, that will stretch their capabilities, their abilities, and will probably place them in a position when they can go further in the company and earn more money. I mean, who doesn't want to earn more money, guys? Who doesn't want to earn more money as an employee? Who doesn't want to earn more money? And I'll quickly mention this. My dream was to, I was at a point where I worked in Pretoria, I worked at Mainland, and we would literally be visited by these guys from the head office, which is from Cape Town, and we'd also get these visitors from overseas because this was a flagship project that the company was working on, the first in the country to be over 1,000 square meters, and it was this massive project. And I would see these guys fly in, and I would look at them, and I would think to myself that, whoa, I want to be like these guys. They travel all over the world, they travel all over the country, they do, it looked glamorous. And my dream was to be, I wanted to be those guys. I never thought outside of, I need to work in the head office still. I need to work my way out of this environment to get to the head office. And not knowing that was limited thinking, not knowing that was me boxing myself in this. And I mean, guys, your employer will never pay you to live next to them. That's what I came to realize, that the guy that owns this company will never, it's impossible working in this company and being this guy's neighbor. I will never live next to this guy. My boss will never become my neighbor. And I had big dreams. I have big dreams. Still do. And I figured that, look, this job that I'm doing right now, I love it because I can serve humanity. I love it because it is in line with what I am passionate about, and which is talking to people and engaging with people and interacting with people and meeting new people and expressing myself and, just gauging different minds and looking for the opportunities in that, looking to network with people. I love that. I still do. Throw me in that right now. But if you could pay me $1 million, if you could pay me $1 billion, if you could pay me what I'm worth, I would do it. So that's just my problem with the job, that it wasn't giving me what I am worth. I would literally go back today to what I was doing, but it doesn't pay me enough. It doesn't pay me what I'm worth. It literally does not. It can pay someone else what they're worth and what they believe they. If somebody is cool with, and I'm just throwing numbers here, if somebody's cool with 15 grand a month, that's them. I'm not cool with 15 grand a month. I'm not cool with 50 grand a month. I'm not cool with 100 a month. I'm not cool with $1 million. And that's how much I used to make for this company in a week. I know I'm not even supposed to be saying that. I might get into trouble for mentioning those numbers because of those laws and these policies that they put into place. But I'm just being hypothetical. Like, I used to make that much, and I used to think to myself, if I can make $1 million for these guys in a day or in a week, I can also make myself that $1 million. So in whatever you do, guys, especially if you have a job, it depends what job. If you want to do that forever, for the rest of your life, do that. Do that. That's your purpose. That's your calling. Follow it. But if you know that it's not, then it's a good time to study Robert Kiyosaki's ESBI. It's a good time to study that formula, that self-employed business owner and investor, that cash flow quality. It's a good time to know what is what, because ukusebenzela umuntu, it's not your it's you were made to do more. It might be the path, it might be the stepping stone, it might be, I mean, heck, I was there for almost 10 years. I was told all my life that I was misplaced in that environment. Heck, I've come to realize that I wasn't. But I had to realize that I have to move from this environment to find myself, to find the next thing, to find my purpose. Right? So in the environment that you find yourself in, I encourage you. And if you don't have your if if you don't have your if you're not willing to diversify your financial portfolio and expand your financial portfolio, you're in trouble. And here's the thing, I don't care if you're 16 or 26 or 66. I literally don't care. You have to find a way in this day and age to do more than one thing, to have just a paycheck. And I can go on. I can talk about the fourth industrial revolution. I can talk about automation. I can talk about AI, all these things that, heck, we were using all these things that are, they say it's enhancing the experience. But what about the human experience? And here's my thing again. You can never replace a human. You can never replace what a human can do. You see, there's two sides to it. However, I do encourage you. I do encourage you to not be swallowed by the world of E9 to 5. Read these books. They will open you up. They will show you things that you never knew. You would think yazi to be the shit. This company that I'm in, I just need to work my ass off. And sometimes this company, you only get to taste the success you've always wanted, sometimes even after 20 years. Only after 20 years. After 30, guys, never. But I'm grateful for Hispania, and I'm grateful for E925, and I'm grateful for what the company that I used to work for taught me. But I realized in that I needed to move from the E quadrant to the S quadrant, which was the self-employed, and I became self-employed and I started doing for myself, and I moved from that to being a business owner, and now I'm looking to be an investor. I'm looking to go into the markets, Baba. I'm looking to throw my money all over the place. But waiting for one paycheck at the end of the month, after a whole month, after 30 days, yeah, there are some people, guys, who were made for that, but Mina, no. So yeah, man, there's so much more I want to go through, but I feel like this is just a long video of me just repeating some of the sentiments here. And I believe I've gotten my point across to say that it is important to be in a job, to have a job, to have experienced what it is to work a job. Look, if you're gonna start off from high school and go straight into being an entrepreneur, to being self-employed, to being, that's good, that's great. However, I know that a job teaches you a lot, man. Jobs teach you a lot. My job taught me a lot. For almost 10 years, my job taught me a lot. You can imagine being someone who's resilient, being someone who's eager to learn, being someone who's inquisitive, being someone who's open-minded, being someone who dreams big, being someone who's a visionary, being someone who's diligent, being someone who has always taken my shit seriously, and being in an environment that requires you to be this beast. And I did that for almost 10 years. You can imagine what you can. So yeah, man, I'm actually writing a book about being an employee to being someone who is doing their own thing, exactly what I'm going through. And I can't wait to share that book with you, man. I can't wait to share some of the principles. That's why I don't want to talk on this video, because some of the things that I wanted to say, I want to put in that book, you know? And then maybe we can make that content later on and dissect those other outstanding pointers. But thank you so much for watching this. Tomorrow I'll be doing or today, right now maybe, I'll do the self-employed, I'll do the business owner, I'll do the investor, and I'll just keep dropping the videos. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you follow this dude. This dude is going places.